This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go.
Good afternoon, Jody.
Well, hello, Bruce.
Today we are going to talk about. We're going to open up a little about some things that have happened to us.
Yes.
We're going to talk about furniture.
Be a little vulnerable with you.
Things that our bigger bodies have destroyed over the years.
Yes.
I can tell you kind of where this came from for me, why this became something.
I know you were very adamant about we need to do an episode about this.
And I may have briefly talked about it in a past episode, but I was an extra for a show that it's not out yet. But,
that's right. That's right.
I was an extra for a show, and went through the whole process. They took us from one place to this other like holding area that they put all the
staging area.
In. Yeah. Staging,
not
yes.
holding.
Staging. The staging area, and they put you in there, and it was about 40 of us, and we were in this little building, and they had all these chairs all around. They had some drinks and some snacks to keep everyone calm.
Craft services, yes.
Craft services. So grabbed a drink, and I went to sit down. When I sat down, the chair that I sat in immediately exploded, like just tore apart. I flew backwards. Luckily, I had put the drink down on the table.
Oh.
And so I flew backwards. I rolled, hit the ground and rolled.
You were doing your stunt moves for the show that you were going to be in.
Trying to get a better roll.
Yeah.
So I'm laying there. The chair is destroyed.
Was it just a folding, It was a folding chair, but they were all old, and I started looking at the other chairs, and they were all like tearing apart and falling apart. They had been used so much for so long that they weren't safe. And usually, when you're a bigger person, you're thinking about those things. You're looking at it and you're going, okay, this chair probably won't hold me. I need to be aware of that and either not sit in it, or I have to do some uncomfortable pose to make it work. Uncomfortable sitting, yeah.
So I didn't do that.
You just
this time around. I just
went
sat
for it,
and it was destroyed. And so there were the 40 people in there. Luckily, everybody was pretty cool about it, and helped me up and all that good stuff, and I was good to go. And I don't get super embarrassed. It takes a lot to kind of get me there. So I was, whatever. It's kind of the reality of the situation. And when you're a bigger person, you have to be aware of everything. Mm-hmm. So it's gotten me thinking a lot about my illustrious history of destroying furniture, having not fitting into things. And I thought it might be, it might be interesting to talk about that, because I know that there are people out there who have had those same experiences, and they can lead to a lot of shame and embarrassment. And I think it's important to know that if you're listening to this and you've had those experiences, you're not alone. It has definitely happened. And I mean, I don't know how frequently I've got a number of them. Sure.
I remember, I'm trying to think, when we first moved here to Portland, we met some friends at an undisclosed brewery.
Sure.
I'm like, those chairs look a little whatever. But I did the little, I'm just going to sit really slow and lightly.
Totally.
And it was fine. It didn't creak or do anything. So I sat in and I was fine.
You're like, all right, this is good.
I'm good. We're good. I'm not going to, be crazy.
Did you let down your guard?
Yeah.
Okay.
I let down my guard. Yeah. And first it was one of those that had little handles or arms.
Sure.
So it was a little tight, but the handle just busted out. And then it was just like a domino effect. Like the handle went, tipped. And then it just went I don't know how the handle did anything.
Yeah.
But the arm popped off, and then I don't know, one of the legs did something, and it just boop.
It's the worst.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
You didn't even give me any warning.
Right.
There was no creaking.
It just happened. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was faulty chair.
Well, it is. And most things in life are not made for bigger people.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, you want to do sturdier furniture. It's going to cost a little bit more, but for the safety of your customers and clientele, I mean, I think
doing things that giving us more options where they don't have arms, or just a little sturdier, give us something, I don't normally go for the chair that has arms.
The arms thing is horrible because when you get crushed in and it hurts your legs.
Yeah, or you try to get up and get out of it. And it comes with you, and you're like,
I'm keeping this chair. I'll be taking this with me.
Yes.
It's part of me now.
Yes.
Yeah, it sucks. And those, so you have to be really aware of those kind of things. And generally, I think most of us are, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah, I mean, as careful as you try to be, life happens. I've been to I've gone to, like, you go to fireworks or go to some sort of outdoor event and you bring your
fold-out chair.
Your folding chair,
my friend.
or whatever, your, like, camping chair, or people have camping chairs. Yeah. Those were always the worst.
So that sucks. And you're sitting in it, and all of a sudden you fall through, and you go like ass first into the middle of into the bars of the chair.
Yeah.
And then you have to try to get out of it.
No, you got to roll out of it.
Yeah. So that has definitely happened to me, and that is one of the top of the list there. Yeah. Luckily, there are companies that make stronger chairs. I have one now that holds up to 500 pounds. I know there's some that hold 1,000.
Do you have the DXL? I mean,
I do have the DXL.
There's one from DXL that's 500 pounds and one that goes up to 1,000. It's like the camping chair that folds.
I'm trying to think if it's from DXL or if it's it might be from Sierra Trading Company.
Oh, really? They do?
Yeah, I think at one point they did. And
not that I'm trying to promote it, but they do have
one of the two, and they have that. And I know that I know DXL at one point at least had a 500 and 1,000.
Yeah, they do. They still have both of those.
Yeah. So knowing that there are chairs out there that are like that, and they're like thrones, and I mean, like the one that I have is so big amazing for me. So
and you just like sit, and it's not as low to the ground either,
right?
So you're not like having to like fall into the chair and then struggle to get out,
trying to get up. And when you're a bigger person, it can be more difficult to get up and get out sometimes. And so this chair is. It's good. They thought about all that stuff, and it's great. I take it with me anytime I'm out and about, and it is held up really well.
Yeah, so it's good it's when you find like sturdy things that you can take around with you that are for those sort of like outdoor sporting events or whatever, going to the beach or whatever. It's kind of nice.
I have also broken a lot of bar stools. So the bar stool for the short fat man is like a no-go. I hate it because, number one, you have to climb. So you get on your climbing gear, you get up on top of this thing, you're sitting there, you're uncomfortable.
Get your ropes and your other gear.
Yeah. And so you get up there and you're sitting on this, and it already doesn't feel comfortable, and you're kind of wobbly or whatever. And I will admit that, I've been out enjoying an evening and probably had a few too many beverages. And
you've had a few.
Yes.
There's no too many.
That may have led to the destruction of some of these bar stools, but the bar stools still shouldn't have self-destructed under me. And so I've fallen a few times and had them just be destroyed. And a lot of places, they don't look at, furniture is not one of those things that when you're going to a lot of public spaces where they're like, oh, well, this isn't so good, we need to fix it.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people it's not top of mind for a lot of restaurant people or people that are doing, they're just what looks good, or the designers are like, what looks good for whatever aesthetic they're going for.
And we're not always and we're not always willing to go, okay, well, this isn't going to work for me, so I need to change this. Let's switch this out with another chair. Because we don't want to do that. We don't want to, because it can potentially be embarrassing and a difficult thing. And it's, you don't necessarily want to stand out, So, I get that. But I've found that taking that time and doing that can sometimes be worthwhile, especially if it's going to be an uncomfortable, potentially dangerous situation.
Yeah. So speaking of your bar stool, I wanted to, you brought us something a little different today.
Speaking of uncomfortable and potentially dangerous.
Yes.
Right.
The wonderful people at Smirnoff have a spiked sparkling seltzer.
Yes.
White peach rosé.
So if you listen, you know that we drink a variety of beverages, and today we're doing something that's totally across the spectrum. And
But it is a premium malt beverage.
So there we go.
Here.
So it still fits. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Ooh, wow. It is very.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel I'm going to be nice.
Thank you. Thank you. You're very generous.
I'm not going to say.
So it's a beautiful, fizzy, bubbly pink.
It looks, rosé.
It smells.
I need a shirt that says rosé all day.
Rosé all day. Is there strawberry in this? Is that no?
White peach.
White peach. That's exactly what I smell.
And that does not look white.
White
or a peach.
Give that a smell. Is that strawberry?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. I don't know my smells.
Artificial sweeteners and flavors.
So it's not sweet at all, as far as I can tell. But it's kind of like drinking a LaCroix.
Well, it's a seltzer, so I was expecting that. When you look at that, you're like, that is going to be super sweet and
and it's not at all.
So 4.5% alcohol, so can enjoy this.
And listen, you should not be afraid to drink some of these kind of things because it's good to shake it up.
Yeah,
if all you're drinking is heavy, angry beer, and you're not trying some of this stuff, you're missing out.
There's a lot of these like spiked seltzer things that I've done in the summertime. They're fun because they're a little bit more refreshing.
Yeah.
Wow, excuse me. It's very bubbly though.
And what I will say is, I know White Claw is like a big thing right now. I did not like White Claw myself. I tried it, and I thought it was
a number of them, and I believe I want to say the mango one is the one that I liked, but now I can't remember.
The one I tried reminded me of like when let's say you go to Taco Bell and you get a drink and then you drink most of it and then the ice melts.
Yeah,
it was like a watered down. Whatever. A watered down, I don't know, Mountain Dew Blast.
Baja Blast.
Yes. And so that, was fine, but it wasn't something that I would search out, that I would seek out myself.
Well, the next episode, we're doing White Claw, just for that.
Perfect. The White Claw tasting.
White Claw tasting. Nice. Oh.
Horrifying. Yep.
Yeah. So what else have I worked at a fancy restaurant in Minneapolis, and they had these really fancy, fun bar stools.
Yeah.
And we had them forever, and they were fine. And I think maybe it was the we had them forever thing that finally broke the camel's back. But,
sure.
And there were those really high ones because the bar is really high, and it's like they were just like these weird four-legged things,
right?
And when you're up so high too, like it's even worse.
It is.
You're like your feet are dangling kind of already, and then
it just kind of pours you out unceremoniously to the ground
onto the concrete floor, and but you got to save your drink.
Yep.
Be a great beer drinker and don't spill your beer when you fall.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I've had old couches. I mean, when you're young, at least for me when I was young, I had a lot of old furniture, old kind of whatever I could find sort of stuff. I know that I had a couch that at one point just got tired of me and decided to just let its leg go. And so the edge of it went, and I had to replace that with, I believe, books. So
I did. Yeah, I put a piece of plywood in our old couch to put it. Because one of the I don't know, whatever cross beams or bars in the couch, it just gave out. So I ended up just putting literally a piece of plywood underneath the cushion.
Yes,
and it was perfect. It held it up nicely.
I've had box springs for beds when beds are not made to hold a certain amount of weight, and you get on the box spring, you're on the bed, and you know.
I sat down on the edge of a bed. I don't remember which. Oh, I think it was probably one of those IKEA things where they have all the slats that go across.
Right.
Broke that pretty much day one.
Totally.
I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Like you can't, there are certain beds.
Sat down till, I don't know, take my socks off.
And there you go.
To get into bed. And then it was like, and I was like, what was that?
When I read to my kids at night, they have beds from IKEA, and if you crawl across them, I cannot get on those beds with my knees because
you just stay on the very edge.
Yeah, you can hear it go no. And so that's not a good idea. So it's you never know. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
The last one that I have is I had a bike that my wife got me this cruiser that came from like Walmart or something.
Okay.
And I was very excited because I love to ride bikes. I love being able to ride, and I just haven't been able to for years. She got me this bike, and I took it out, and I started to go around the block, and I was just dying. I mean, I'm like, this is so hard. Why is this so hard? Because, I mean, it shouldn't have been.
Yeah, you've ridden a bike before. You know what it's like.
Right. So I get around the block, and I'm coming back, and I'm heading back toward home because I'm like, okay.
I'm done.
Yeah, this is not good. Like, how has this happened? And I'm riding back, and another guy on a bike comes past me. He goes, hey, your tires are flat. I look down, and the tires look totally flat. I get off it, comes right back up. So the bike was not made to hold me.
Yeah.
So I realized that, and it just kind of made it worse, where I was like, okay, the bike's not even going to hold me, so I guess I can't ride bikes anymore.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of gave it up for about 10 years. And yeah.
But you got a nice bike now, though,
which I'm going to talk about in our last segment.
Okay.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Segue to our segment.
I know.
Well, I guess that's a perfect time to transition to our little what's going on with Bruce and Jody.
Yeah, I think the last thing that I'd say about all this is that it's important that you remember that the world is not made for bigger people, and that there's not a lot of thought given to us in a lot of ways that matter. So when it comes to something like that, don't try not to take it personally. Try not to think that it's not you, it's them. And there are things that are being made for you, and more companies and more people are starting to come around to the idea that we deserve the same options.
Yeah, they're public spaces. Yeah. They need to be made for more people.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the Allgo is an app that it's kind of like a Yelp or whatever for spaces that are, they talk about the seating and access. Accommodating to bigger people. Yeah. What is the space like? What is the furniture like? So check that out. It's kind of a fun thing to be able to rate your local favorite place or call out some people. And
the beta is here in Portland, but they're about to, I believe,
I feel like they might have, I don't know.
Wide.
Yeah, so, I can't remember if they've launched it completely, but
so it is definitely,
go follow them on social and you'll know when they're ready to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
So awesome. So for our other segment.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll jump right in. So as far as bikes, I spent about a decade just thinking I would never be able to ride a bike again, and that sucked. And then I was introduced to Zeiss bikes, Z-I-Z-E.
I'm not a fan of the name. I don't know why.
Well, they are they're out of Boston.
It sounds bad to me. I don't know. Zeiss.
And the bikes specifically are made to hold bigger people.
Yeah, they look. I should try. I should just take your bike out one day and just try it.
It was a game changer for me because this bike is. So the bike that I have it's called a New Leaf. I believe it's 2.0, and it's one of their newer bikes. It's been around for the last year or so, and now you can get them in e-bike form, but if you want that, great. If not, fine. I think the cool thing about it is that it's made to hold. I think mine holds 550 pounds.
Okay.
It is what riding a bike felt like when I was a kid. So I'm able to get out, ride it. I don't really use the e-bike part that often, but the cool thing about it is, say if you're getting back into it and you want to start riding on a regular basis and you're in a hilly place like Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, right.
Some of those hills are insane no matter what gear you're in. So you can throw on that e-bike, that engine, and you can use that to help you, and it will help you. So you can still pedal, and it'll help you get up the hill. And so mine goes to it has 3 gears when the motor's on, and the third gear you're doing about 30 miles per hour. So you're flying if you want to do that.
Does it just charge while you're pedaling, or do you plug it in?
So it has a thing to plug it in, but I haven't had to plug it in.
I was just looking at it and I'm like, wait, do you plug it in or does it just charge?
Yeah, so I haven't had to plug it in. I've got a bunch of extra things on mine as well because as I was riding, I thought it would be good to have I've got a thing that water can go into. I've got a thing to hold my
like camel pack thing or whatever.
Yeah, I've got a thing to hold my phone. It's a bunch of different things, lights, all that kind of stuff. Got
a fun bell.
A fun bell. Oh. that may not actually be on my bike.
No, it's on this little fun Tassley bike.
My daughter's bike. Yeah, yeah. So
you should definitely add that bell.
I should.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So so I mean, it's really cool. It's a cool bike that is made to hold bigger people. I mean, everything, the way it's reinforced, the tires. The tires even have
I wouldn't be like shy to get on that bike.
No, and
like it looks sturdy and fine.
The bike will hold you, and even the tires are they have
it doesn't look like crazy. What?
The tires have the goop that so if they puncture they
seal automatic. Oh
yeah. So they're,
I was like,
and I mean, they're made to hold extra weight. So the whole thing is great. And I love it because this bike, I will never have to get another bike. As long as you're doing your regular yearly,
maintenance
go to your bike shop. You're going to have something that lasts. And for me, that's huge. And it's been so much fun to get out and be able to ride on my own, but to also be able to ride with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I've got,
that's important.
My kids are just at the age where they're starting to get into that. And I've got one that's old enough that he's riding without training wheels. And the other one that has the loudest damn training wheels. You're riding down the road and it's just like, it's like you're riding with an earthquake. They
have little flowers on them.
But
what are these little trolls?
We just did yesterday. We did a ride your bike to school day. So we rode to school, locked up their bikes, and
that's
there
fun.
We go. Yeah, so it's fun to be able to do those things, And I think when you're a bigger person, sometimes you run into those things where you can't have those experiences with your kids or whatever. It's more difficult.
Yeah.
So being able to do that was really important because I know
it's good to be active with your kids and show them and
I know how important that was to me when I was a kid, just being able to ride and have that freedom. So
awesome. So for me, we have Bjorn and I have started. Well, we've been looking at houses for quite a while. We always look on the apps like Zillow and Remax apps, but we've actually talked to a real estate person and told them the things that we're looking for. So we're actually going to look at something today. I think we're still looking at it's just the very early preliminary things of let's actually look at the houses that we're thinking that we like. And, we've already, gone through all the, for the past year, looked at houses and said, oh yeah, I like this. And this is why. We both want a yard. We've decided all the different things that we want in a house, and we want to be able to fix it up a little bit because we both love, projects, and we both of us know construction stuff and all, we both worked and lived in the country. So, kind of learn that.
Ready.
We're
ready.
I think we're ready.
Nice.
Mentally.
Yeah.
So we're starting that process. So that's kind of fun to be okay, we're gonna go officially look at our first house, but it's not even I don't know that I'm pretty sure we're not gonna get this house or whatever, but you never know.
Fun. Number one, it's fun to look.
Yeah.
Number two, I remember when Shauna and I were starting to look that it was it felt like it went from this idea of, hey, we're going to look to it's happening.
Right. That's what everyone says. It happens way quicker now than you ever thought. Because it's not like it takes forever to get approved or for them to check all your credit and all that stuff. And everyone wants to close and get their money and get it done. But
that's awesome.
I want to be sure that it's the one and feel right about it and be comfortable. And so that's kind of exciting. That's something we're going to be. We don't have a specific timeline or anything, so.
But you've started the search.
Started the process of finding at least a long-term home.
Perfect.
Not maybe forever, but a long-term.
Right. I love it.
That's all I got going on.
Well, good. Hopefully, if you're listening to this and you've blown through chairs and beds and couches, you feel a little better knowing that you're not alone.
Yes. And there are beds and furniture out there specifically for bigger people.
Absolutely.
So definitely.
Yeah.
I know Bruce has got a bunch of those resources on his website, chubster.com.
Beds for big people. Absolutely. There are a ton on Chubster. So check those out. We've done reviews. You'll get to see bigger people actually on this stuff.
Yeah.
There are pictures of me actually jumping on a bed like I'm a 5-year-old. and the bed holding me like it's no problem. So check that stuff out, and you might just find something that works for you.
All right, cool. Okay. Thanks, Bruce.
All right,
thanks for
Jody.
Sharing your chair experiences with us.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, guys. Share our episode with your friends, and we'll talk to you next time.
Perfect.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.